these were posted today. These are new invoked, and you guys are saying these are broken. But are there? Do we have translations for these already? Oh yeah, we do. Okay. While I talked about the other cards, these were posted here as well. Okay. This is scary, by the way, because the new invoked cards from Chaos Origins are pretty good already, and not in a good way. Like you know, we just talked about some toxic interactions, and the new invoked. So it just before we even read these, invoked as of right now has a card that rips 3 cards out of your extra deck. 3, and you get to look. So yeah, they have Mechaba, which is basically an Omni Negate, and they have a Macrocosmos on a fusion monster. So, and they have Kaliga. Somehow Kaliga is the thing that you almost forget about because it's like kind of like a side thing, you know? It's like, oh yeah, there's also Kaliga, which says you can attack once and activate 1 effect. So that's all the things that they have. And so what did we add to this? Invoked D Anima, level 8 Dark Fiend fusion effect monster. Materials, an Alistair monster, and the monster special summoned from the extra deck. Okay, most importantly, that means you can't use stuff from the graveyard. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card's fusion summoned, activate one of these effects. Destroy all opponent's monsters special summoned from the extra deck. Destroy all spell traps your opponent controls. When your opponent activates a card effect in the grave, you can banish this card, special and Alistair, from your deck, and if you do, negate that effect. Okay, that means invoke that they can summon this on the opponent's turn because the new invoked is they have a quick place fusion spell now. Also technically a super poly target. Yeah, that's true. It's a super poly target. This card, with all the other shit that I just mentioned that invoked can already do, this card seems completely fine in comparison. It's not bad by any means. If you summon it into a board, it can do a decent amount. And it negates graveyard effects as well while summoning an Alistair. So it's a pretty good card going second into boards. And when you go first, you can summon it sometimes on your opponent's turn with the quick play fusion spell. However, I will say this deck has infinitely more broken things you can do with the quick play fusion spell. So you're probably not going to do that. But this card's fine. I don't have beef. I do not have beef with this card. I think they should. I think actually hot take. It's not a hot take. More invoked fusions should be like this. And removal is one of the healthiest forms of interaction in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So a card that's mainly based on removal is good with me. And when I say removal, because I know some of you are trying to act smart and are going to say this, removing cards from the extra deck is not removal, okay? That's not what I mean. Removal in terms of like destroy a card or banish a card or something, that's cool. That's cool interaction. Removing stuff from the opponent's extra deck is not removal, okay? Not what I meant. Not what I meant. Also not remove cards from the hand, okay? Not the same thing. That's not what I mean. All right, Invocation Chalice, another invocation card. Normal spell card. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. If you have an Alistair monster in your field, grave, or banishment, activate one of these effects. Fusion summon an invoked monster from your extra deck by banishing a monster from your hand or field and 1 from your deck. Fusion summon an invoked monster from your extra deck by banishing a monster you control and a face-up monster your opponent controls. Okay. Cannot be searched. Is there no card that searches a card that's... Can they only search cards that are invocation or mention invocation? The new Alistair can search it. Hold up, let me double check that real quick. Alistair the Reminiscent. No, that's not true. It cannot search it. So let me just clarify this real quick. Most of the new stuff says invocation, specifically invocation. This has to be invocation because it's just the entire card name, or a spell that mentions it, and this card does not mention invocation. So this cannot be searched by the new Alistair. Still, it's not a starter itself. It is kind of like half of a branded fusion. And it banishes any monster from your deck. Right? Like, because invoked doesn't, you can just summon one of the invoked fusions and they have 1 for every attribute. Right? They have 1 for every attribute. So you can just banish any attribute from your deck Can you banish Dormouse? Yeah, you can banish Dormouse. Yeah, you can banish Dormouse. Banish Dormouse, make Oceanus. Wait, hold up. Are you making Oceanus with that? Invoked Oceanus. Is Oceanus a dark? Like, does it need a dark? Oh, yeah, it does. Oh, God, yeah. You can banish an Alistair monster from your hand or field and a dark monster from your deck to make Oceanus, which is a macrocosmos. This of that. Okay, first of all, that is a joke. No one is gonna play Invoked Malice. I hope I'm right on this, and this is not gonna look stupid in like 6 months when that's the best deck. Like that's not what people are going to do. I don't think. However, I will say, regardless of how good these cards actually are or how good the invoked cards end up being, I'm just not a fan of these, because every time I read a new invoked card, I just hope that it never sees play is my problem. Like that's my problem, is every time I read one of these cards, I'm just like, yeah, I hope this is bad. I hope this is bad. And this is mainly because of the extra deck monsters. Like the main deck stuff in Invoked is completely fine. Like who cares? Give them half a branded fusion. Let them banish something from the deck. Yeah, fine. That's all okay. But why is what we're summoning that? I mean, yeah, I lost my train of thought. For a moment, I read Aluber instead of Alistair and I panicked. I mean, this would actually be healthier in branded. Like, I think the first time, try to remember this moment the first time you play against this card and your opponent, think about it. If your opponent, whatever your opponent summons with this card, I think you're gonna wish it was a branded monster. I think you're gonna wish that they made like an Albion with this the first time you get hit with it. Oceanus needs to be in the EMZ for macro, so probably can't mix it with Malice. Nah, that was a joke. People are not gonna, I don't think people are gonna play this with Malice. It's just, it was just to showcase the possibility. But you could, like, for example, look, if Invoked isn't toxic enough for you, you can play a little Thunder Dragon package in it, and then banish a Thunder Dragon monster, and then you can add a Colossus to your end board. Because then you have Macrocosmos, Extra Deck Rip, Omni Negate, Kaliga, and Colossus. You know, you can do that. Because why not? Sounds good. Yeah, man, I don't think it sounds good at all. Unironically though, in terms of power level, I think these cards are fine. I don't know if this is a hot take, because a lot of you guys seemed like, you guys made it sound like these cards were broken, and I don't think this is true. I don't think this is true. I think the fusion monster is completely fine, and the spell is fine because it's unsearchable. Like, this is not, if you could just add this and you just play like one copy of this and you add it with this guy, it'd be completely busted. Because then you could also splash it in like a lot of other decks to just like banish whatever you want, basically. The fact that you have to hard draw this, and it's only a play if you draw it with a starter, because all of your Alistairs are starters, right? So you need to draw an Alistair already plus this card in order to resolve it. And then it's good. But it's just, yeah, it's just fine. The main deck tools they got in Chaos Origins are far better than this, I feel. And they are also, yeah, the reason why this deck is good is not going to be these cards. You can fuse, okay, let's talk about the last effect actually. Fusing with your opponent's monsters. This is kind of cool. This is kind of cool. Now, this effect, however, does require you to banish a monster you control. You have to banish a monster you control, which means this is very weak to removal. Like, let's say you control an Alistair and you activate this and your opponent chains removal onto the Alistair. You can't use a monster from your hand or a graveyard or something like that. You have to use that Alistair. It's like activating, it's not Super Poly. You guys are comparing it to Super Poly. That's not what it is. This is more like normal summon Fallen of Albaz and activate effect, which is a much more vulnerable play than Super Poly, right? That's a much better comparison, is summoning Albaz on your turn and activating the effect. And that doesn't often feel very good, right? Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's good. right? But usually it doesn't work. So, yeah. If you chose the effect on resolution, it'd be a lot better. Oh yeah, it would be. Yeah, that's true.